The rain tapped softly against the diner's windows as the evening crowd thinned, leaving behind only the quiet hum of the coffee machine and the clatter of dishes from the kitchen. Emma sat alone in a corner booth, her hands trembling slightly as she tried to steady her milkshake with her weak left arm. At 16, she had already learned how to navigate the world differently. Her cerebral palsy made every movement a challenge, but she never let it define her. She loved this diner. It was the only place in town where she felt somewhat normal, surrounded by the warm smell of pancakes and the familiar faces of the staff. But tonight, 3 boys from her school walked in, loud, laughing, and already looking for trouble. Emma recognized them instantly. She lowered her head, hoping they wouldn't see her. No such luck. Their voices grew nearer, their footsteps heavy, until they stopped right beside her booth. Well, one of them sneered. If it isn't Emma the cripple. Her heart sank. She forced a smile, hoping kindness would diffuse them. Hi, she whispered. They didn't come for conversation. One boy reached for her milkshake and took a long sip before spitting it back into the glass. Another snatched her backpack and dumped its contents onto the floor, sketches she had drawn, fragile pages fluttering like wounded birds. She bent down to pick them up, struggling to control her stiff muscles. The boys just laughed. Look at her, one said. She can't even use her hands right. The cook, Dan, watched from behind the counter, torn between stepping in and keeping his job. His boss had warned him before, no drama, no fights, no hero stuff. He clenched his jaw, his hands trembling with anger. One of the boys suddenly reached out and slapped Emma across the cheek, hard. The sound echoed across the diner, sharp and humiliating. Emma froze, tears immediately blurring her vision. She didn't understand why they hated her so much. She had never done anything to them. A couple in another booth looked up but quickly pretended not to see. A man by the window buried his face in his coffee. The world, once again, chose silence. Emma's voice cracked as she whispered, "Please, stop." The boys finally grew bored. One kicked her cane aside, and it clattered across the floor. "See you at school," the ringleader mocked. They walked out laughing, leaving Emma shaking, her cheek stinging, her drawings scattered and smudged. Dan couldn't stand still any longer. He rushed over and knelt beside her. "Emma, I'm so sorry," he said softly, helping gather her sketches. They had no right. Emma tried to smile, though her lips quivered. "It's okay," she lied. But Dan knew it wasn't. Not tonight, not ever. Outside, the rain grew heavier, beating against the pavement like a drum of warning. Emma didn't know it yet, but in just 1 hour, the diner door would swing open again, this time with people who didn't tolerate cruelty. People who made their own rules. People who protected their own.